Hey, this is Charles Gaudet here, and today I want to tell you about arguably one of the most important indicators that you've never heard of before. But once you discover it, you'll see it has a direct impact on your ability to drive sales, and we call it brand recall. And what's most amazing about this indicator is that you'll likely find a direct correlation, a direct one-to-one correlation with brand recall and your revenue. So as your brand recall goes up, so does your revenue. But what is brand recall? Well, it's a measure of how many people will do a direct search of your brand on Google, plus the amount of times that they directly visit your website in the moment of decision. And you can find this data either by going to Google Search Console, as well as your Google Analytics. But let me explain. You see, according to our research, 7.5% of marketing qualified leads will do business with you within the first 90 days of indicating interest. But what's amazing is that 42.5% of all those people will buy from you between 90 days and 2 years from now. Why? Because your buyers are becoming far more discerning. Back in 2019, the average consumer looked at between 12 and 14 different sources of information to make a buying decision. But in 2021, that number took a giant leap from 14 to 27 different sources of information. Buyers have become researchers. And what happens is that the more you create demand with content, emails, retargeting ads, etc., you influence that moment of decision that makes them want to buy from you. And they'll either go to Google and type in your brand name, or they're going to open a browser and type in your URL and then go directly to your website. I personally just decided I wanted to optimize my sleep, and I came across this idea of buying a temperature-controlled mattress. And so I did a whole bunch of research to see what were my best options. Now, during this whole time, I came across this company called 8 Mattress. And they continued to serve ads, send emails, and served up some really great content. So about 3 months went by before I was ready to make a decision, and then I went to Google, typed in 8 Mattress, and then clicked on their URL and purchased. They had the strongest brand recall. And if you look at the way that you do business in your most recent purchases, chances are, more likely than not, it's a result of you going to a search engine or going directly to their website, not really clicking on an ad and buying right away. So I tell you this because we've seen a direct correlation between revenue and recall. So take a look at this image. This is a coaching client that we helped grow from $1 million to well over $40 million in the last few years. And notice the correlation between revenue and recall. Or here's another coaching client who's doing hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And granted, he had his doubts when we first told him this, but once he ran his calculation, he said, this changes everything for us. You see, more brand recall equals more revenue. So how do you grow your brand recall? You do it in what's known as the dark funnel. You do it by putting out valuable content that educates, that offers a fresh perspective, that builds awareness to support your buyer along their journey. And you can do this through social, earned PR, content marketing, YouTube, retargeting, a LinkedIn engagement strategy, podcasting, and really there are dozens more. But you just start with one channel and you slowly build more. Create content your market loves to consume. And what you're going to find is that consumption of content drives sales conversion. Consumption drives conversion. And that's just one of the many ways 7- and 8-figure companies can achieve that next level in growth. So I hope you enjoyed this tip. I will see you in another video.